Join me today as we take a quick look at the presidency of Nigeria. The President of Nigeria, officially President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he is the head of state and head of government of Nigeria. The President directs the executive branch of government. He is the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria. The office, powers, and title of head of states and the head of government will officially merge into the office of the presidency under the 1979 Constitution of Nigeria. The executive power is vested on the president. The power includes the execution and enforcement of federal laws and the responsibility to appoint federal executives, diplomatic and regulatory and judicial officers. Based on constitutional provisions empowering the president to appoint and receive ambassadors and conclude treaties with foreign powers, and on subsequent laws enacted by the House. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has the primary responsibility for conducting foreign policy. The President also plays a leading role in federal legislation and domestic policy making as part of the system of separation of powers. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria gives the President the power to sign and veto federal legislation. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria are typically viewed as leaders of their political parties. Major policy making is significantly shaped by the outcome of the presidential election. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is directly elected in nationwide elections to a 4-year term alongside with the Vice President. It is worthy of note that Bola Ahmed Asiwaju Tinubu is the 16th President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Let's take a quick recap on the President of Nigeria. Since 1963 till date, on the 1st of October 1960, Nigeria gained her independence from Britain, and all Nigeria Executive Council was headed by the Prime Minister Alhaji Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. On 16th of November 1960, Nnamdi Azikiwe became the first Governor General of a federation of 3 regions of the North, East, and West, having Lagos as the federal capital. Each of the regions was headed by a premier with a governor as a ceremonial head. The governors and governor generals represented the Queen of Nigeria, Elizabeth II. On 1st October 1963, Nigeria became a federal republic, therefore abolishing its monarchy, but remained a member of the Commonwealth of Nations. An amendment to the 1960 Independence Constitution replaced the office of the Governor General with that of the President. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was sworn into that office on 1st October 1963. That office at that time was primarily ceremonial, and the main duty of the President merely concerned receiving foreign dignitaries and opening parliament. Military rule from 1966 to 1979. In a January 1966 failed coup d'etat, a group of army officers led by Major Chukwuma Nziogu overthrew the federal and regional governments. They killed the Prime Minister Abubakar Tafawa Balewa and tried to take over control of the government. Nziogu was countered, captured, and imprisoned by the Army General Officer. Major General Agi Irosi was named military head of state. In July 1966, a group of northern army officers revolted against the government, killed General Johnson Aguiyi Ironsi, and appointed the Army Chief of Staff, Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Gowon, as the head of the new military government. In 1975, General Yakubu Gowon was deposed, and Brigadier Murtala Mohammed was made head of the federal military government of Nigeria until his assassination in 1976. Upon his death, the Chief of Staff Supreme Headquarters, General Olusegun Obasanjo, assumed office as the head of state in a meeting of the Supreme Military Council, keeping the chain of command established by General Muhammad in place. General Obasanjo was responsible for completing the democratic transition begun by his predecessor, which culminated in an election in August 1979. In 1979, Nigeria adopted a federal presidential constitution. The presidency became an executive post with powers similar to those of East America counterparts. The legislature was a bicameral National Assembly comprising a Senate and House of Representatives. Second Republic from 1979 to 1983. On 1st October 1979, after more than 30 years of military rule in Nigeria, Nigeria returned to democratic rule. The National Party of Nigeria emerged victorious in the presidential election, and Alhaji Shehu Shagari became the first democratically elected president of Nigeria. Military rule 1983 to 1999. On 31st December 1983, the military again overthrew the Second Republic. Major General Muhammadu Buhari emerged as the chairman of the Supreme Military Council, SMC, the new head of state. In August 1985, General Buhari's government was peacefully overthrown by the Army Chief of Staff, Major General Ibrahim Babangida. Babangida became the president of Nigeria and chairman of the Armed Forces Ruling Council. On 26 August 1993, General Babangida stepped down and chose interim government to replace him. Ernest Shonekan was named as the interim head of state. General Sani Abacha seized powers from Shonekan on 17 November 1993 and became the head of state and chairman of the Provisional Ruling Council. On 8 June 1998, General Abacha died at the presidential villa in the Nigerian capital Abuja. Major General Abdul Salami Abubakar became the new head of state and chairman of the Provisional Ruling Council. Fourth Republic, 1999 till date. On 29 May 1999, General Abdul Salami Abubakar stepped down and handed over power to a former military head of state, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, after being elected. Some months prior, Obasanjo served 2 terms of office. On 29 May 2007, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua was sworn in as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the 13th head of state, completing the first successful transition of power from one democratically elected president to another in Nigeria. Yar'Adua died on 5th May 2010, also at the presidential villa in Abuja, Nigeria, becoming the second head of state to die at the presidential villa after General Abacha. On 6th May 2010, Vice President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan was sworn in as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the 14th head of state. On 29th May 2015, Muhammadu Buhari, the former military head of state, was sworn in as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the 15th head of state after winning the general election. He also served 2 terms of office. On 29th May 2023, Bola Ahmed Asiwaju Tinubu, BAT for short, the Jagaban of Africa, was sworn in as president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the 16th head of state after winning the 2023 general elections in Nigeria. Dear viewers, at this point, we will stop our broadcast on the presidency or head of state in Nigeria since 1963 till date. Do have a great time. We shall see you in a better time. Goodbye.